We are dealing with reporting events. So first one, initialization. Second one, add selection screen. Third one, start of selection. Fourth one, end of selection. Fifth one, top of page. Sixth one, end of page. So these are the reporting. These are the main events. There are interactive events which we are not discussing yet. We have not yet. First, we understand the main events, then we will see the interactive events. After seeing the interactive events, then there will be some sub events. That sub events we'll see here. As of today, if you search Google or if you compare the notes of someone else, some other institutes, some people will do this. Always they will do it. Okay. So always they will compare. They don't have the confidence on the faculty, so they will compare the syllabus or they will compare the Google or something. It's a good idea because you are trying to learn something new. I'm not saying not don't do it. Do it. You will increase the knowledge. But right now this is too early to compare. We have not said that the course is completed yet. There are a lot of topics. So there are some sub events. Now, if you see the notes as of now with other institute people, there will be some 10 to 11 events. Now you will say, Sir is explaining only 6 events. No, we are seeing one step at a time. Whatever is required for the next 1 week, those events we will see. After we are comfortable with this, then we'll go deeper. So that is my way of teaching. So what some people will do, they will keep all the events in 1 day only, and then they will cover everything in 1 day. We are not doing 30 days course here. So learn one step at a time, slow and steady. Slow and steady always wins the race. So we are going slow and steadily, not too fast. Now, these are the reporting events. If you don't use any events, what SAP will do is whatever code you are putting, it will take start of selection and put all the code in the start of selection. First, you should understand the flow, how the flow runs. The user executes the transaction code. The user is executing the T code. Always the starting point is T code. T code. When the user executes T code, I am displaying the selection screen. I am displaying the selection screen. So this is the program input screen, selection screen. So if you want to do anything before the screen comes, you can do it in the event one. Event one. Event one is initialization. Next, if you want to do any validation, now the screen came. User is giving the inputs. Now I want to check. Now he's giving a date. Now I want to book a ticket for 9th. Then I want to book a ticket for say next month, November 5th. November 5th. I can book a ticket. I want to book a ticket for September. Is it possible?
No, sir.
No,
No.
date is invalid. I'm giving some date here. Date is invalid. So I have to check whether the inputs are correct or wrong. To check the inputs are correct or wrong, we'll use the event 2. Event 2 is validation at selection screen. On the screen, whatever inputs you are giving, validate. If the inputs are valid, okay, start searching the data. Start getting the data. Event 3. Event 3. Third event will come. Event 3. Now, once you fetched all the data, that means go to your database. Go to your database. Fetch what you want. Go to your database and fetch what you want. After fetching, start writing the data. Event 4. Event 4. Now, while writing the data on the paper, what heading you want, what footers you want, headers and footers. So headers, event 5, footers, event 6, event 6. So what you want here, what you want here. This is what reporting event is. So 1, 1. Initialization. 2. Add selection screen. 3. Start of selection. 4. End of selection. 5. Top of page. 6. End of page. These are the events. So now I am writing some code. My requirement is for the given city. For the given city, I want to write some employee details and education details. Employee details and education details I want to write. So what to do? So now let's go to the program. '23 create. Now this class is to explain about the events, not to explain about the code. If you remember well, we have done this assignment already. For the given city, display the employee details. We have done this assignment already. So the ideal way of writing the code, the ideal way of writing the code, always declare declare your screen variables and program variables in the starting. Even though you declare in the last also, SAP will collect all the variables and declare it in the starting only. So ideal way, declare all your screen variables and program variables required in the starting only. So now I am declaring parameters p underscore city, type whatever data element obligatory. Then data p underscore eid type, v underscore name type, v underscore city type, v underscore phone type. So now as of now I want to avoid the confusion, so I'm taking only one table as of now. Two tables, three tables, four tables, like this it will follow. As of now I'm taking one table. This class is to explain about events, so I want to only cover about the events, so I am not confusing the select statements. So now make a habit of putting the events: initialization, at selection screen, start of selection, end of selection, end of selection, top of page, end of page. The events in the correct order. Always we have to follow this order, very strictly followed for a new development. So now I want to check whether I am authorized or not. If the client asks you to do the validation, one way of doing the authorization check, we call this as authorization check, permission check, is in the event initialization. There are some more ways to do it. In transaction level, people can do it. These days, we are not using this concept, initialization concept, to validate the data. These days, it's a very old way of doing it. But in some old programs, they are doing the validations like this. So first I will explain this way of validation. Then we'll go to the alternative. That means in the last we can control in the transaction level only. So I need not write a code to do the validations. But still I'm writing the code here to check whether I have permissions or not to execute. I'm saying if name is equal to Srinivas, my user ID, I am simply saying come out of the program, leave program, leave the program. But before leaving the program, give the user, tell the user why you are leaving, why I am leaving. Message. So message keywords. To display the messages, we have 5 types of messages. SAP has 5 types of messages. First one, information message, I. Information message. Second one, yes. Success message. Third, W. Warning message. 4, E. Error message. 5 5A abort message. One message we will use in one place. So the target is not to understand all the messages on one day. One by one we'll see. So whenever you want to display a message, your message, type any of these five. At the rate stands for any of these five. Example. This is the syntax. This is your syntax. Example, message. You are not permitted to execute this code. Type. I am giving some information. Whatever you are giving in the single quotes should be in uppercase. If you give a lower case, the program will go to dump. The program will go to dump. It cannot recognize small I. So if you want to give a message, capital I. Whatever you are giving in the single quotes should be in uppercase. So this is the syntax. So I am telling the user, boss, you are not authorized. Type I. Now a person is executing in German. A person is executing the code in German. He will get this message, English message. Is it meaningful?
No, sir.
So what we have told already,
We have to
never
convert
hard
in
code the
text
text.
for
We have to
translation.
create text elements so that I can translate the message later. So I am not putting this directly. So what I am doing, I am creating text symbols. Go to, go to
Go to text element, text symbol.
text elements, text symbols, and create a text symbol. Or simply type some text hyphen 001, whatever code you want, give it. Double click it, double click it. It will automatically take you there. So save it before going there. Give your message, text symbols, directly I'm typing it. Forward navigation. Save it, activate the text symbol, activate the text symbol, come back. So now I am giving the text with message, activate. So now I am testing this code. I am testing this code. I am going to one more session, SC38, and I am executing this code. Execute. So now see, you are not authorized. You are not authorized. I'm getting the message. I can translate it later, but translation is not our work. We don't translate. We don't know German, Chinese, etc. The people who know German, Chinese, they will translate. We will create text elements and leave it. So now I am not authorized. So why we use initialization event?
To permit uh,
To check authorizations. To check authorizations. This is one way. For one purpose is this. Other purpose. Other purpose. To set default values. To set default values. Example, whenever I log into the screen, whenever I am logging into this screen, so if you see, I am getting this client number automatically. Whenever I am coming to SC38, whenever I am coming to SC38, most recent used program is coming automatically here. Automatically. Similarly, when I execute this program, I want, sorry, here, first for the time being, I am commenting this code. If I don't comment this code, I can't execute this. So as of now, I'm commenting this. So select the lines, control less than symbol, control less than symbol, comment. To uncomment, control greater than symbol. So I'm commenting it, activate. So now my requirement is when I execute this, I want a default value. Execute. I want a default value here, Hyderabad. So if you want a default value, if you want a default value, I can do it like this. Default HYD. So to set default values for parameters, how to set default values to parameters? First way, using the extension default, using the extension default parameters p underscore city, type whatever data element, default whatever you want. So automatically I will get that default value. As of now, I give default as Hyderabad. Activate, execute, execute. So I'm getting the default value Hyderabad. But I want condition based. Second way, if you want conditional based defaults, use the event initialization. Example, when I'm logging in, I want Hyderabad. When other people logs in, default value Bangalore. When I logs in Hyderabad, when you logs in, I want Bangalore. I cannot put conditions here. I cannot put conditions here. So if you want condition based, I can do it in the initialization event. Somewhat like this. If Sai uname is equal to Srinivas, default value p underscore city is equal to Hyderabad. Else. I can put else if for one user I can set one default. Else p underscore city is equal to Bangalore. And if condition based, activate, execute. Now see here Hyderabad. When I logged in Hyderabad, now I am changing the user ID. Srini index at the rate 123. So now when he is logging in and execute, he will get default value Bangalore. So condition based, if you want condition based default values, I can, if I want condition based values, I can use the event initialization. So initialization is not only for validation. Initialization is used to check, to set default values based on condition. So this is the purpose of initialization. So now please follow this carefully. I am taking this initialization event, okay, and keeping somewhere in between. I am taking this initialization event and keeping somewhere in between. And as of now, I will write some condition here, if, or say simply write test, something like this I am putting. Now follow this carefully. I am activating it and I am putting breakpoints. Why I explained you debugging in the starting, so that you can execute the program and see the flow. I am keeping the breakpoint in the first write statement. I am keeping the breakpoint in the second write statement. I am keeping the breakpoint in the third write statement. In one program, you can keep up to 30 breakpoints. 30. Right now, I am putting 3 breakpoints. So logically speaking, when I execute the code will get executed from top to bottom. So in such case, add selection screen should be the first breakpoint it should stop. So line number 22 it should stop. But if you observe, whenever I execute anything, my program will search based on the events. My program will search where is initialization event. So initialization event is in between. But even though it is in between, the first event which will trigger is initialization only. So the program is going to in between 32 and then executing. So 32 line code got executed first. Now when I execute now it will go to at selection screen, 22nd line. So SAP ABAP program don't execute from top to bottom. SAP will execute based on the events. So you can write the events in whichever order you want. But to search the event, my program will become slow. Now what I am doing, I am putting this initialization code somewhere in the last. I am putting this initialization event code somewhere in the last. Activate. I am putting some breakpoints. Still, there are some breakpoints here. So in the at selection screen, I have a breakpoint. Start of selection, I have a breakpoint. Now initialization also, I'm putting one breakpoint. Now the code is there in the 35th line. So if I execute, my program will always go to that 35th line. Execute that 35th line initialization event, and then it is executing this first. So always the first event, wherever you write the event, the first event which will get executed is initialization. So you can write the events in whichever order you want, but every time the program has to search where is this initialization event, where is the start of selection event. So the best ideal way is in which order they will trigger. In the same order you have to write down. That is the best way. So now any doubts in the initialization event? Now I'm opening one functional specification. The client will give you the requirement. Nothing is oral. Nothing is oral. Everything will be documented, and the document you will get it. So if I'm opening one report, in this report I'm opening the spec 1, spec 2. Two specs I'm opening. Functional specifications. So I'm opening the functional specifications. So now here if you see, this is the screen he wants. This is the screen he wants. And in the screen, default values. NA, 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 NA not applicable. So he's not expecting any default values in the screen. Now he is not even asking for validation, because I already told these days the validations are done at transaction level. Transaction level, because users will regularly change. Today I will be there in the company, tomorrow I might leave. So every time checking the users by user ID is not a correct way of doing it, because tomorrow under my place someone else will come, he will have separate user ID. Again I have to change the program. So we are controlling the validations in transaction level. Basis team will do it. So I need not do the validation in the initialization. Olden days we used to use it, but these days we are not using initialization even for validation. But if you see the book definitions, some old book definitions will say initialization event is used for validation. So if I don't cover that point, automatically people will say I'm missing something. So I have explained you how to do the validation, but that validation we are not doing the authorization checks. There is one more way of doing the authorization checks. Why we are using the initialization event? To set defaults. In this program, money is not asking any defaults. But if you see the spec 2, second functional spec, this is the second functional spec. In this functional spec, if you see, scroll down, I'm expanding this. So now if you see, is asking some default values: 30, 60, 90, 120, 360 default values. So whenever you want to set default values, I can use the event initialization. So hope the initialization event is clear. Now we'll go to second event at selection screen. So on the screen, now once the screen comes, the user can enter anything. The user can enter anything. Now show me the people who are there in XXX city. Is XXX city valid?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Pune. Pune is valid?
No, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
No, it's not valid. How you have created your requirement? I have created, if you remember well, I have given you one assignment where I said that my company is there in Hyderabad and Bangalore only. Yes or no?
Sir, validation.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So Pune might be valid for some other program, but right now my customer can be there in Pune, but my employees can be there in Pune. My office is there in Hyderabad
No.
and Bangalore.
No,
So
sir.
Pune might be a valid city, but for this program it is not a valid city. So I should give a message, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now do you remember the database design? Database fundamentals.
Yes, sir.
Whenever we create employee ID, employee table, employee
Yes.
ID, name, city, phone, education, phone, whatever basic pay, HRA, etc. Now, employee D1, employee D2, employee D3, employee 4, employee 5. Valid Hyderabad. He belongs to he belongs to Bangalore. He belongs to Hyderabad. Now, how you are validating this city?
Domain.
Valid
Through
check
check
table.
table.
Valid check tables. Valid cities. You forgot valid city table.
No, sir.
Hyderabad, Bangalore, Las Vegas, Virginia, Peshawar, Lahore. I have my branches in these places. So all my employees, whoever are there in this employee table, should belong to these 6 cities only.
Yes, sir.
Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Now in my table, suppose if you take employee tables of Accenture, here there will be nearly 1 lakh to 2 lakhs employees will be there. All these 1 lakh people belong to which cities?
Hyderabad, Bangalore,
These
and
these
the
6 cities. These 6 cities. So whenever I give any input in the city, what are the valid cities? What are the valid cities?
Hyderabad, Bangalore,
This one,
D6.
Bangalore.
valid
Valid check.
city. So where we have to check whether my city is valid or not.
Check table.
Well,
check table.
Check
So
table.
in net selection screen, we do validation of input against valid check table. Note, if check table is not there, then we use master table. The validation should be always done against the check table. If check table is not there, then only we have to validate against the master table. So remember this point. So now, in which event we have to do the validation?
Initialization.
Validation. How can you do the validation initialization?
Check selection.
selection.
Now follow this carefully. Initialization is here. The user is entering the input here. The user is entering the input here. Now without giving the input, how can you do the validation here? After the user gives the input only, we'll do the validations. So the screen validations should be done in at selection screen. So what I will do, I am checking. So now if you see my table, I have created my table with valid check table. YYZ EMP table. If you take this table, the city field, the city field, I am validating against one table, valid city table. Okay. So now You have to write the code against that. Select city into one variable v underscore city from valid city table where city is equal to p underscore city. Whatever value the user is entering on the screen, whatever value the user is entering on the screen, we are entering it. Now common sense issue. Suppose your mother gave, get me three items: rice, oil, sugar. Now oil is not there in the shop. Shall we get the remaining two items?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Suppose oil and sugar is not there. Shall we get the remaining one item?
No.
No.
Yes.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Whatever are there, whatever are there, we'll get it. If nothing is there, we will stop it. Yes or no?
Yes, yes, sir.
So whenever we are giving multiple inputs on the screen, we will check whether at least one input is valid. If at least one input is valid, we'll get some output. If all the inputs are wrong, we have to stop him. So now here I am saying, if my select statement, a select should have and select. A select should have and select. Select and select. If the given city does not exist, will you get any value into this variable?
No, sir.
So it will be
No,
blank,
sir.
right? It will be blank, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So I am doing a follow this where I am writing the code after the end select. Because some people will do the code inside this and say my code is not triggering. If the city is not valid, my program won't go inside. So after the end select, I am putting if v underscore city is equal to blank. If city value is space, give a message. What message? Some text 002. You create the text element. As of now, I am directly typing the message. Please enter a valid city. Type E. Error message, capital E. So I am telling the user boss, please enter a valid city. Activate. Execute. Execute. So now I am removing all the breakpoints. Execute. Now I am giving some wrong city XXX. Execute. So now at selection screen. At selection screen, my code is triggering. Now it is trying to search for the given city. City is equal to what you have entered XXX. Is XXX valid? When I click F5, select statement failed. Select statement failed. So v underscore city is blank. If v underscore city is blank, give a message. Please enter a valid city. So I will get a valid city message. So I'm entering the please enter a valid city. Now, how much you execute? Now I will remove the breakpoints. I am removing the breakpoints, saving it, execute it. Until you correct it. Until you correct it, it won't allow you to proceed further. I stopped with error. Whenever you see error message, the program will stop there. Now I'm giving Pune. Pune is valid for other programs, but not for this program. Execute. It will stop it. Please enter a valid city. Until I enter a valid city, Hyderabad or Bangalore, it won't proceed further. It will stop there. So validations will be done in at selection screen. Now, how to check a select statement is success or failure? How to check a select statement success or failure?
Sai
I
Sabarsi.
First way,
DB count.
first way, I can check the data into one variable. If the value is there, there will be something you will get it. From the database, you will get the city, valid city into this variable. If nothing is there, we are getting blank. So one way is doing like this. Another way, another way. If psi db count, psi dbcnt is equal to 0, error. This is another way. Third way, if psi sub rc not equal to 0, error. So already we have discussed this psi db count on psi sub rc. So you can check a success or a failure of a select statement by checking the variables. If you get some data into variables, it is success. If you are not getting anything into the variables, it is a failure. Or if psi database count is 0, it is a failure. Or if psi sub rc not equal to 0, it's a failure. So in any way you want, you can do the validation. Now I have entered the valid city. I have entered the valid city. Then if the city is entered valid, if the input is not valid, I am stopping him on the screen only. If input is valid, then I'm going to start selecting the data. Start of selection. Start of selection. Here what will come? Your select EID, name, city, phone, phone from ZZEMP into variables v underscore EID, v underscore name, v underscore city, v underscore phone, where city equal to pcity, p underscore city, and select. Right. V underscore EID, v underscore name, v underscore city, v underscore phone. Now I am not putting the positions, horizontal lines, vertical lines, etc. because I'm assuming you know that. I don't want to waste the time in horizontal lines, vertical lines. So when you are writing, you put the horizontal lines, vertical lines, etc. Check the syntax. So something EID to EID. 1 minute, the
V
variable.
underscore PT, sir.
So here
V
V underscore
underscore
PHN.
city.
In
Phone.
right state.
Here also some issues there. Now V underscore city. Check the syntax. Activate. Execute. So now test it. Execute. Give wrong data. Execute. City is invalid. Give correct data. Execute. I will get the output. F8. I will get the output. So when I give positive cases, negative cases. When I give invalid data, I'm stopping the user. When the user gives valid data, I'm proceeding further. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, in real time, we don't use Z tables. But to make you understand easily, I'm explain Z tables. So now my requirement is for the given country. For the given country, I want all the customers. In one country, how many customers are there? I want all the customer details. So report number 24, create. What is a customer master table?
KNA1.
KNA1 is a customer master table. So what is the input I'm expecting? What is the input I gave for the given country? So on the screen, what shall I put? On the screen, what shall I put? Country.
Enter valid country.
Country.
So now KNA1, customer master table. What is the country field? Country field is this one, land one. Country field is land one. So parameters p underscore land one. Type whatever data type it is expecting. Land one underscore GP. Land one underscore GP. Obligatory. Activate. Now go to text elements, selection text, and say country, or give some enter a country. Whatever the client is asking, put that on the screen. Come back. So now my screen is ready. Enter a country. Now user is entering valid country India. It should display the output. User entering valid country US. It should display the output. User is entering German. It should display the output. German. It should display the output. XX. So first thing, default values. Default values. Initialization p underscore land1 is equal to, I am putting in. India as the default value. If you want something else, you can put it. Or you can use if condition to put the default values. If this user, this default value. If this user, this default value. If the user is not asking anything, no need of this event. If the user is not asking anything, no need of this event. Next event, add selection screen, validation.
Sir,
Validation. So, yes,
sir, which one is best for giving default value? Means parameter or initialization? If we don't want any
directly,
condition, then
directly parameters is best. Minimize the coding. So,
yes, sir.
declaring the default value here is best. So that is the reason if you observe carefully in the notes I clearly gave you. If you want condition based defaults, then only use this event initialization. If it's a direct value, always use this one only. This is the best.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
Now at
Performance
selection.
time will be also different, sir, for both of them.
Ideally, yes. This if you declare default here, it will be very fast when compared to the code. Because if you write if condition, my program has to check the conditions, right? The more the conditions, the more time it will take. If I have 10 users, for each user I am putting one default value. If Suresh one say one country, Ramesh one country, automatically my program has to check the condition. So ultimately it will take some time. But ultimately, if the client want condition based, if Suresh is logging in, put this default value. So we have to write the code with if condition only. So ultimately it's the client's decision how we wants the program. Based on that, we have to write the code. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay.
So now we have to do the validation. Validation of the given country. Now, have we discussed any time what is a valid country table? No, I have not explained the valid country table. We have seen valid currency table,
Yes,
standard
sir.
tables.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
What is valid currency table?
TCUR.
TCURC. Valid weight units.
T
006.
T006. Valid customers. KNA1.
Yes, sir.
KNA1. Valid customers. Valid
Noted.
countries. If you don't know the check tables, there are thousands of tables. As a developer, you need not know all the check tables. So right now I want to validate my country. So come to the KNA1 table, come to the country field and go to the entry check help tab. If you go to the entry check help tab, you will see the valid table. What is the valid table here?
006 5.
T005. If you see, all the valid countries will be maintained in this table, countries table T005. So what I am doing? I am saying select land 1 into v underscore land 1. I declare one variable v underscore land 1 type. Whatever data element it is asking, take that data element land 1. So select land 1 into v underscore land 1 from T005 where land 1 is equal to whatever the user gave. Whatever the user gave, check it. Now in T005, land 1 is the key field. Yes or no?
Sir.
So
Yes,
wherever
sir.
is the key field, what we have to do?
Select single.
Select single. Check at least one valid value is there or not. If it is not there, if size abarc not equal to 0, or you can check psi db count, or you can check v underscore land 1. If size abarc not equal to 0, message whatever message you want, give it. Enter a valid city, sorry, valid country. Type E, error message. Stop him. If he enters a valid country only, it will proceed further. If he is not entering valid country, it will stop. Now, don't hard code the messages. I am hard coding the messages. You create text elements. Always create text elements so that we can translate it. Now execute. If I give XX, it will stop there itself. Enter a valid country. If I give YY, enter a valid country. If I give India, it won't give me any message, but it won't give me any output also because I have not written the code yet. So now what we have to do, we have to write the code. Before starting the code, we have to define the page size.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Now,
sir.
as of now, I have not defined the page size as of now. So now start off selection. Start selecting your data. Select. Select what you want. I want customer number. I want name. I want city. I want postal code. From KNA1 into V underscore customer. V underscore name 1. V underscore ORT01. V underscore PSTLZ. PSTLZ. Where land 1 is equal to P underscore land 1 and select. So declare those variables. Declare this variables. Chain operator. V underscore Kunar. Type KUNNR. V underscore name 1. Type V underscore ORT01. Type V underscore PSTLZ. Type. Done. Write down the data. Write V underscore Kunar. V underscore name 1. V underscore ORT01. V underscore PSTLZ. Check the syntax. Activate. If you are getting this enhancement error, warning message can be ignored. This is not the problem with our program. The problem with KNA1. Someone has done some changes in KNA1. So now execute this. Execute this. Show me the people in India. Execute. In India, how many people are there? I'm getting it. So employed customer ID 3, customer ID 4, customer ID 6, customer ID 11, customer ID 16, like this. What are the cities? Pune, postal code, etc. Now here we are getting blank because they are not maintaining properly. So these are the people who are there in India. Show me the people who are there in US. Execute. All the US people, 1, 224, 255, 250, all US people. Now show me the people who are there in German. Execute. But now if you observe this carefully, SAP is generating only one page. In one page, how many we can print? In one page, how many we can print? So if you see, there
Max.
are many things. There are many things, many customers. So ideally, what we have to do, we have to define the page size. So what we have to do?
Line count.
Line
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 count,
size.
line count, line
No
size.
standard page heading,
Yes, sir.
followed by followed by how many lines per page? Line count, I want 27 lines per page. Line size 225. So now if you observe carefully, execute.
Line
Execute.
size.
Line size, width of the page 225 characters. Line count, height of the page 27 lines per page. Execute. Show me the people who are there in German. Execute. So now if you see this gap, wherever you are seeing this gap, those gap is a new page. Wherever you are seeing a gap, the gap is a new page. I will do one thing. I will declare one counter variable. I will declare one counter variable v underscore count type integer, and then with every write statement I am adding 1 to v underscore count, and then I am putting this v underscore count in the starting. Write at 10 v underscore count. Every select statement I am adding the count. Check the syntax. Activate. Execute. Execute. So India, show me the people who are there in India. So if you scroll down, roughly I have 98 people. Nine, 98 people. Show me the people who are there in US. Execute. Roughly I have 3,922 people. Show me the people who are there in German. Execute. Scroll down. 2725. Now what is this field? What is this field?
City.
Country.
City, sir.
Country field.
See here, you people, I have written the program before you. You are getting confused. What will happen to the end user? So we have to display the heading
Yes,
that
sir.
this field is customer ID, this field is city, this field is name. Like this, we have to put something. Where are the headings? So we have to put the headings. You want headings only on the first page or in every page? This is again the client's requirement. So in tomorrow's topic, we will see how to display the headings on every page. How to display the headings on yes, tomorrow. Why to hurry? Plus, how many pages output I got? Do I have the page numbers here?
Sir.
No, sir.
I don't have the page numbers. So if you see per page, I'm getting 27 lines, 27 records, space. Per page, I'm getting 27 records. But how many pages of input is there? I want page numbers in the bottom. Page 1, page 2, page 3. So how to put the page numbers? So once we complete that, reports will be over. But here to avoid the confusion, I have taken only one select statement, single table data. But in real time, we don't take single table data, we'll take multiple tables data. So how to select the data from multiple tables already we have seen. So now what is your assignment is this? Use this. What events today we have learned? We have learned initialization, we have revised it. Then we have revised, we have explained at selection screen and start of selection. End of selection, top of page, end of page, I have not explained. Forget about those. These three events, practice and understand. For the given, for the given country, display the vendor information, vendor ID, vendor name, vendor city, vendor postal code, vendor information. What is the table for vendor table?
LSA1.
LFA1. That's it. So like this, if you practice, it will become very easy. In tomorrow's class, tomorrow we have a class. Tomorrow we will see what is the headings and footer. Tomorrow's topic and today, yesterday and today, have we covered any tough topic?
No.
No,
No,
sir.
sir.
So that is the reason I am taking the class tomorrow. If I cover tough topics in the week, I will give time for to you in the weekend for practice. We have not covered any tough topic this week. All are easy topics only. So that's the reason tomorrow's topic is also very easy only. So tomorrow we'll see so that we can save some time because again Diwali is coming again. We'll take festivals etc. So wherever possible, if you take a class, then we can take leave whenever we want. That is a better idea. When I take a tough topic, anyhow I'll give a leave. So don't assume that Saturday, Sundays, even for festival days also we worked. We have to work. The client holidays, in during the client holidays, we might take leave, but in the normal days when we are having festivals, the client will be working. If the client is working, if any issues comes, we have to work. So once you come to the software field, you will get lot of money. At the same time, you won't get time to spend that money because you have to work 24/7. Whenever they want, you have to work. So forget about Saturdays, Sundays, etc. Thank you. Catch you tomorrow.